So, good morning, Panther fans. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. Good morning. So, I did it again, and I didn't even realize I did it again. Um, we had the whole fun fake recap controversy yesterday. For those of you who don't know, there were people that thought my intermission segments were fake, but during the after the second intermission segment, I didn't realize I said it, and somebody in the comments says, I said, we're not going to know until the last possible minute what happens. And then with 5 seconds left. So I keep saying stuff that makes it sound like I'm faking it and doing it all after the game. Bubba. Bubba is like that woman that cheats on you, but you just keep taking her back. You just every time you're like, I'm sick of your shit. Like, yeah, but come here, let me show you something. And damn it, I'm back in.
That's because the sex is so good.
Right.
Every other game he comes up with, saving our ass.
Oh, that was the definition. I mean, everybody who's ever watched any Panther hockey, when they saw Brad Marchand coming down, it's like, yep, this is how this ends.
But you do agree that we never should have been in that position because we've said it time and time again. Ekblad should not be out in those critical situations, just like he shouldn't be out in 3-on-3 overtime.
Right.
The guy is slow as freaking, like tar. Tar is stuck to his skates. And anybody's going to blow by him. The thing would happen when, when Montour kind of flubbed it and, was off balance. So, it's like a sprinter that gets a, 3-stride lead on the.
Yeah. Oh, you mean on the breakaway? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the time where Montour flubbed the puck in front of the net and couldn't get up.
No. We'll get to that. But then Bob makes a great save, and I don't know what Ekblad was thinking, but he goes to swipe the puck, and if not for on the ball Bob, I don't know if the puck would have went in, but that was pretty stupid. I mean, just listen. Don't mistake my smile because we won the game that I'm not going to go on a rant. So are you ready for the rant, guys? Because it's coming.
This is interesting. Okay. I'm not going there this morning, but that's cool. That's cool. I want to hear this because I thought I was the one that came up with interesting ways to rant, but this should be good. Go. Okay. You got the floor. Hey, wait. I want to save you one bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Just in case you're going to, because I brought it up. I don't know if you saw what Maurice said. The Montour flub in front of the net where he didn't get up. Maurice said he had a contusion of the testicular variety.
Right, so he got hit in the
Okay. So before, if you were going to say anything about that, I wanted to save you that trouble.
All right, so maybe I missed it then. I totally missed it. I thought he got hit, but not with a puck in the nuts. I know there's a lot of people that will agree with me. And some people will say, I've just been hating on him all year. Well, there's a good reason, but Aaron Eggplant is really a bad defenseman. And he was at one time a really good defenseman, but I think all the injuries cumulative have taken their toll. I mean, if you notice how he plays defense, he wants the least amount of contact or engagement. That's why he does a lot of stick swiping and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know why he thinks he's going to pull a Uyghur point, 2.0 a la Bobby Orr and stick handle, through guys. I mean, he needs to get the puck on his stick and off his stick quickly. Okay? But the guy probably had one of his worst, if not his worst game ever last night. He was just atrocious is the word with a capital A. Awful. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. The guy is just like worthless dog meat. I'm sorry. And this was a guy that was my favorite player. But he has regressed to the level where he is a liability on the ice. And Maurice, I don't know what you were thinking, putting Aaron Ekblad out there with 7.7 seconds. So, if Marchand had scored, that would have been 3.8.
Oh yeah, that was my biggest thing, was like, how do you not have learned that lesson to do whatever you need to do when there's less than 5 seconds left in the period? My complaint, I was not focused on Ekblad. The thing that I saw was, I think Barkov had one of the worst games he's ever had.
Face-off wise?
Not just face-off wise, but there was one sequence I talked about in the recap. There was one
the blind pass.
Yeah, but he kept doing it. I mean, I believe, and this is not me completely carrying the water for him, but I think the fact that he's not scoring offensively is definitely starting to wear on the other parts of his game. And all I can say is that I think them getting Bergeron back helped us, because they had revamped their line. I said this before the game, and now I kind of believe it. They revamped their lines after game 2, and those matchups kicked our ass 2 games in a row. But
you have a good point there.
Then they put Bergeron back in, and now all the matchups changed, and all of a sudden we look good again. So I think, and we've seen that how many times with Ekblad, and I'm not saying Bergeron is Ekblad, but we've seen that with Ekblad where they retooled the defense when he's gone and we look great, and when he comes back it screws up all the pairs and we look bad for 2 weeks.
Well, the way we can solve that problem is we trade him in the off season. Then we don't have to worry about him anymore, because I'm saying it again, man, he's got to go. And what really, really pisses me off is now I know why they sent Carlson back, and that's because Charlotte's in their playoffs. But, right. I mean, that kid should be playing. I would say right now I'd rather see Carlson in there and Ekblad out. And Ekblad, right. He has a hangnail that's going to keep him out for a few games. But
well, look,
I mean, I don't understand. You got Forsling, who, let's face it, he had one bad game, but he's still back to his rock solid. But he's probably put him up against Montour. I don't know. I was going to say he's our fastest defenseman, but he's probably the best one in getting back on the play. But whatever. Well, Bob made the save, and then Maurice made a good statement in his post game talking about hockey karma. And I don't know if he's going to get fined for talking about not only the penalty that Bennett not only got when
they slashed
knocked to the ground, but punched and whatnot.
Right.
And then the Bennett penalty in the second period, whatever, what it cost us, the goal.
Right.
But he said he knew that puck wasn't going in. So
good.
And he also said that the reason for having Bob in there was to put extra pressure on Bob to carry the team.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He said I could have gone either way. By the way, guys, I'm always holding it up like that. These mugs are pretty cool because it's got the namesake of the channel. So Eric is going to post the link on this video where you too can own this fabulous t-shirt and this mug. And what I suggested last night, Eric, was that these guys and gals go out and buy t-shirts and mugs and stuff.
I lost him. Stu's gone.
Post them.
We lost you. We're losing you.
No, I'm here.
Okay. All right, here we go. What Stu said was, because we lost your audio. What he said was, if you buy the shirt or the mug and take pictures of yourself with the shirt and the mug on, not the mug. You can't put the mug on. I guess you could if it made some kind of fancy relic cap like I do. But then we'll post the pictures with you guys in the shirts.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of them.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I'd like to see the Flying Fluffy Army, like the Kiss Army. I'd like to see the Flying Fluffy Army, dressed up in our uniforms here.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, all right. So let's review the game. So we get the first goal on another Boston mistake.
Big Boston mistake.
Okay, and I think that's how this series is going to be won. Boston, they've made a number of stupid mistakes. Let's just put it that way. You can't call what Allmark did anything other than stupid or moronic or whatever. Right. I don't know what the guy was thinking, but he wasn't. And his post-game comment about it was so flippant, like, I did it, it's over, whatever. I mean,
right.
Instead of saying, yeah, I fucked up, man. That was really stupid of me to do that. He just I thought I would dish it.
Frank Fort on Twitter after the game made a really good point. And if you watch that play, what Verhaeghe does was he's hauling ass, and it looks like he's going to come around the boards right to where the puck is. But when he sees Omar come out to play it, Verhaeghe stops on a dime, and Omar doesn't react to Verhaeghe stopping. He's thinking Verhaeghe's going to keep coming at him, and he's going to try to just shove it past him.
Yeah.
And Verhaeghe does it, man. Verhaeghe just stops on a dime, and Omar gives it right to him.
Yeah, I noticed that. And did you notice that when Verhaeghe passed it out in front, it did not go right to Tkachuk. It bounced off Allmark.
Yeah, it bounces off Allmark. Yeah.
Puck luck. Talk about puck luck. And it went right to
Chucky's stick. I mean, look.
Huberdeau would have missed the net on that. Barkov would have missed the net on that.
I don't know about Huberdeau, but Barkov misses that shot.
Barkov
wouldn't have taken the time, man. Barkov would have passed. Barkov would have tried to pass back to Verhaeghe.
Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened.
Right.
But Chucky hands and the hockey IQ that he has, he just took an extra couple of seconds.
Yep.
He didn't rush it. He knew he had the open net, and he roofed it. I mean, it didn't go top shelf, but he got it high enough where nobody was going to block it.
Right.
I mean, did you think we were going to win that game last night? The way we played.
Well,
47 shots.
Yeah, I mean, look, they kept coming back. Right, it's 1-0. They tie it. 2-1. They tie it. 3. I really thought we were holding the 3-2 lead. I really thought we were holding that one, and then they tie it. And I was like, do we have anything left here in the tank? Because it was the amount of puck luck, the number of times that Boston, especially in the first period, came. I mean, they had the 2-0, they had a 3-on-1, and just something would happen between themselves. It wasn't even like we were making, great plays. They were just flubbing their opportunities one after another. And I just kept wondering, is this gonna last the whole game? And that game right there, the Panthers have lost that game a million times in the 50 save shutout. I mean, that we had last year in games 4, 50 shots.
Yeah,
and we got shut out.
Yeah. Yeah, we certainly have been there before.
Yeah.
So anyway, so obviously you got Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, and Bob, definite standouts. I thought our defense, we need to tighten up a little bit. I know you said Mahura had a good game, and he did. He was steady.
Yeah.
I know Montour can't bring it every night as far as the offense. I think he's trying too much, to be honest with you.
Well, the problem with those shots is what Boston did to adjust to that after game 2, which is they're clogging the middle of the ice. So a lot of those shots, number 1, are getting blocked, or number 2, if they are getting through, none of our guys are getting in the crease for the rebounds. So Chucky's off to the side, but when you watch some of those shots and there's a rebound, it's going right straight out into the crease, and there's 3 Bruins and no Panthers. So Boston shut that down. And so, I mean, we've made some adjustments. I'll give Maurice a little bit of credit there. But I really think the biggest adjustment was them retooling the lines to put Bergeron back on. It changed the matchups. And Maurice changed his line. I like Cousins up there on the second line. I know he's not going to get a bunch of goals, but ain't nobody was scoring up there. So you may as well just make that the pain in the ass line to play against.
I still say make the top line Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Kachuk. And then put Barkov with Cousins and Duclair.
Oh God.
I don't care.
What?
I mean,
who's going to score on that line?
You can't call Barkov the top line anymore.
No, he's not.
It's not.
It's not. He's not. That's. I mean, that's something we could talk about over summer, but there's so many questions going into next year. But this one's not done yet.
No,
this one's not done yet.
The keys to Game 6 is you got to shut Marchand down. He looks like he's just like in total control of us.
Right.
Every time, and
Taylor Hall, by the way.
I was getting there. But I'm not done with Marchand because what Marchand is to the Bruins, Kucherov is to the Tampa. Everything goes through Marchand on the Bruins.
Right.
Obviously Taylor Hall is ripping it up, but McAvoy is also doing a number on us, and Bertuzzi.
Yeah. Yes.
Bertuzzi's name is just like almost every play is Bertuzzi.
Yeah.
And I hate Foligno. I'd like to see Foligno get his ass kicked by somebody. He's the Patrick Maroon of the Bruins.
Yeah. Well, look, the resiliency of this team continues to amaze even me, because there's just like there's been a couple times when you're just like, all right, just
put us out of our misery.
Put us out of our misery. Yeah. Just grandma, go. It's okay. We'll be without you.
We had no right winning that game last night, and we won. So what does that say? Is it karma, destiny, whatever? Because I remember my good friend predicting that we're going to win the cup. So that's still in play.
It's still there.
Yeah. And wouldn't that be a pip to all the assholes that think your recaps are all bullshit?
Yeah, they're fake.
They just have to go back and watch the Jaws of Harlech trade prediction. I mean, it's timestamped, guys. 2 or 3 days before the trade.
Yeah.
Eric announced the trade, exactly how the trade went down. So you tell me.
Right. So look, the other thing is, I know we're going to get, if we get Lomberg back, I don't want Lomberg coming back to be the kryptonite that Bergeron coming back was. And what I mean by that is, if Lomberg comes back, just take one person off the fourth line and put Lomberg on the fourth line. Don't reinvent the wheel, because those lines worked last night. Yeah. That's leave the lines the way they are, and then just put Lomberg back on the fourth line where he belongs, and that's not an insult to him, because I think, given our current roster, I think we iced the best possible combinations that we could last night, considering the fact that last night Duke actually was okay. He wasn't bad. I mean, look, he got the goal. Okay, he got the goal in the dirty areas too. So I got to give him credit there. And he was okay. He wasn't bad. Barkov, I don't know. I mean, I think it was 9 for 25 in the faceoff circle. I mean, every draw, especially in the third period, is like, Barkov, can you win one? Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to put pressure on you. Sorry, brother. Sorry, go ahead. Draw after draw after draw after draw. So he's clearly slumping right now in the first round of the playoffs. This is not, he's focusing on defense and all that, because his defense. He's not. Yesterday was bad, and then of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, and I'm not exactly spiking the football at this point, but I have the ball in my hand, and that is Flames fans that told me Chucky's going to disappear on the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
It's just not quite exactly what's happening. You know what I mean?
told you he got a blood transfusion when he moved down here.
Yeah, that's Selly last night. Holy crap. Jumping up and down like a little kid at Christmas.
Yeah, I still like the other one. The other one was, to me, more important because it kind of, it got us in. But he's insane. I mean,
right.
What was funny was he jumped on the pile to congratulate Bob.
Yeah.
But then he left it, and then someone went over to hug him or something. He shoved the guy. I don't know who it was.
I think it was Mark's. Well, it was on the way, but Bennett was approaching him to hug him, and and Chucky was like, "No, I want to go jump on Bob." You saw
after that.
Yeah, after that it was Mark Stahl.
Locker room.
Yeah, he gave Mark Stahl a stick tap, and then he went right to the locker room. But the thing that I thought was funny was if you watch the whole group celebration, like everybody gets in, but Reinhardt was so late. He's just like barely on the outside, like patting somebody on the head, like, "Hey, I want to include me too."
Listen, we've won 2 out of the 3 games in Boston.
I know. Yeah.
It just sucks that we laid an egg on the 2 games we played at home.
That's the craziest thing, is all we got to do is win a game at home and we get to game 7. And for Bruins fans are like, win the son of a bitch in Florida, I'm sure, because we already beat them twice in Boston. So it ain't like we can go in and be like, "Well, it's Boston. Ain't no way we can win a game 7."
Well, all the pressure, if all the pressure will be on them.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest team ever, blah blah blah. Which
I'm not going to blah 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 yet.
I think the Montreal Canadiens in the late '70s were, and the Edmonton Oilers and the Islanders for,
right.
Let's just say the team with the best record ever.
Right. Yeah, you can't take that away from
all
them.
The pressure will be on them, but let's not put the cart before the horse. You know?
Right.
We got to play a much better game. I don't think we're going to get the lucky breaks that we got in this game. And you made a really good point last night. I would be very happy for no penalties to be called on Boston.
Oh yeah.
And for us to play 5-on-5, because our power play, let's face it, guys.
I mean,
it has shown, signs of brilliance at some point. There was a clip from January where we were at 30-something%. We had the number 1 power play in the league. And then we went 0 for whatever. We got one last night, but our power play is so slow, so predictable. We know from watching it game in, game out exactly what they're going to do with it.
Right.
And, Boston has watched the tapes and they know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that the goal was scored without Ekblad on the ice. It was Bennett, Reinhardt, Tkachuk, Barkov, Montour.
Right.
And that pass to Reinhardt in the Braden Point bumper, whatever you want to call it, that was executed perfectly. Why can't they do it, all the time?
Well, Reinhardt had a shot earlier in that power play and he flubbed it or missed it or something. Look, I mean, I like Sam Reinhart, but he ain't Braden Point. You know what I'm saying? We've got good guys, but we don't have Stamkos, Kucherov, Point, in any way, shape, or form.
You think about it. Tampa's got Stamkos, Kucherov, and Hedman. That triangle, is and they move it around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Of course, they're always looking for Stamkos one-timer, but they're also looking for Kucherov one-timer. They got a double-barreled threat. We don't have that because Barkov don't shoot.
Right. That would be like if we had, you could throw Forsling or Montour out there, but remember, healthy Duke on one side and Sniper Hoffman on the other. But we don't have that, and that's okay. But in terms of not taking, yeah, look, I saw some complaints on Twitter about there was this call not being called against Boston. I'm okay with that because every damn power play, for the most part, Boston's getting really good shorthanded chances, really good chances,
and
and they already got a shorty,
and they're gonna get one.
Well, they already got one earlier in the series.
Yeah.
So, not interested. I'm totally fine with them just because the less they call again, that's the other thing. The less they call against us, the less likely it is they're going to call one against Boston. Now, we know they're going to tilt it a little bit, right? Okay, that's just been art because, I mean, look, at some point, one of two things happen because out of nowhere, suddenly the Panthers are just ridiculously the most penalized team in the league. So one of two things happen. Either the style of play that Maurice is instituting, these guys are playing over the edge, or B, Maurice has been in the league so long and there's so many refs that just dislike the dude that there's a bias there. That's it. Just one of those two, and I think it might be a little bit of both.
There's been bias against us forever, so I don't know about the latter. I just think, yeah, our new style of over aggressiveness, forechecking wise, you're bound to have, high sticks, hooks,
right,
cross checking. Everybody does it, and the referees are so subjective as
right.
when they call it and when they don't call it. Because I will tell you, at least 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 times when there's a play in front,
yeah,
a guy is getting cross-checked.
Right.
And they just don't call it. That's why the thing with the McAvoy thing, I mean, Goldie said it, they're not going to call it. Yeah. There was 2 minutes in the game? Yeah, but they call the too many men. That was funny. That was exactly as you said in the recap. And then Randy did the telestrator.
Yeah.
Circled. Yeah, they were playing.
Yeah, no, yeah. It wasn't like, I mean, they were playing
a few seconds with that. I mean, that mental mistakes like that.
Oh, I'm watching it.
It can happen.
And I'm thinking, come on now. How could you call too many men? Was it a bad change? Or come on. If it's close in that moment, the refs are going to give it to you, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I said you can't complain about the refs, because those guys have been on for 3 to 4 seconds at least before the refs called it. They must have been going, is somebody going to get off? Because they were on the other side of the ice, and there was nobody heading towards the bench. They were playing with 6. And it took the ref.
That can't happen in a crucial game. We're lucky we escaped.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And so to me, look, we won 2 in Boston. And now the hope tank is filled up about 80-85%. Now, the one thing I'll say is that we lost both at home. And then remember, these guys got to figure out what's going on up here at home, because not only did we lose both to the Bruins at home, but remember, Chucky's like, we're going to need the fan base because we're getting ready to do something special. And then we lost to Toronto in overtime, and then we got beat, by Carolina. So in the last 4 home games, we've got a point. So they need to figure out what the hell's going on, the difference between home and road, that is getting these guys taken down a notch. Is it too much pressure? Is it not enough pressure? What's just because something's different. Something's different. And this is not time of year to not be winning games at home. If they can win a game at home, just win a game at home, we get to game 7. And if we get the sucker to game 7, that President's Trophy on the Bruins' back is going to get real, real heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just going to get real heavy.
I would like to see a resounding win, not a fluky win. I'm not going to call yesterday a fluky win, but let's face it. How many times do you see a play, made by the goalie like that, where they basically hand you the winning goal? I want to see who Montgomery puts in gold. Does he switch? Does he switch to Swayman? Does he give Swayman a shot?
I mean,
does he stick with Allmark?
Allmark apparently has been sick the whole time. So, I mean, I don't know why he hadn't gone. I thought he was going to go to Swayman last night. I kind of figure he's going to go to. But remember, when I was watching the highlights earlier this season, when I was putting together the intro, the highlights of Panthers and Bruins, the one game where the Panthers scored a ton of goals, it was Swayman. So he may have reservations on throwing Swayman out there because we can score goals against this team. We have scored consistently, not every single game, but it's not like Tampa where every game we're like we got what do we get 3 goals in 4 games last year, right? We can score goals on Boston. And I'm curious what they're doing differently now than they were doing in the regular season, or if it's us but excuse me, the bottom line is when you have those opportunities, you got to bury them. And last year against Tampa, all 4 games, we came here as like, we feel like we can beat this team, right? We can. We're getting chances, they won't go in. And every time Tampa would get an opportunity, in the back of the net. And
Toronto was definitely proving that Vasilevsky can be beat, as I've said all along.
Yeah.
There was those two games at the end of 2 seasons ago where we put a 5 spot on them, and we made them look like Swiss cheese.
Right.
But they got to come out. They got to come out fired up. I mean, the first game, home game, we came out really good in the first couple of minutes, and then the goal was scored on us, and all the air went out of the tires. So, that no penalties, and let the first period just come out crazy. We get an early goal, and then we get another goal, and it's 2-0, and then let Boston come back from that. I just feel like it's so important for Bob to have that cushion. Speaking, and I don't want a 1-goal cushion. Let's take a 2-0 lead into the first period.
Yeah.
So, but they really got to be more disciplined. I think they've been disciplined as far as the scrums go, and looking to get into some fisticuffs there.
Right.
That's not going to help us. But the hooks, the high sticks, and the cross checks, and the tripping, those are lazy stick penalties. The only time you want to take a hooking penalty or a trip is when a guy's on the way to breaking it open with a breakaway or something,
Right. So last thing I'll say, for those of you who didn't see the ESPN broadcast, I don't know, halfway through the first period, 3/4 of the way through the first period, I think it was when it was, they've got Emily Kaplan, and she's on the benches, and she's asking Paul Maurice a question. And the question she asks him is, paraphrasing, but basically, why did you play Bob instead of Alex Lyon? Now, that's perfectly normal question to ask, and it's not entirely her fault. But standing right next to Emily Kaplan was Alex Lyon. So there's this camera shot of Maurice talking like this. They're face to face with Kaplan, and like right next to Kaplan is Lyon, and he's just like staring off into oblivion, like, I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. I am just going to completely remain.
I mean, of all the questions to ask during the game, why would she ask that one?
Right.
I mean,
and what Maurice said basically was that this was a high pressure situation, and that's why Bob is here. So but he also mentioned, it was a really, really tough decision. It was really, really a hard decision. So, he tried to be as respectful as he possibly could, but at the same time, it's like, man, I mean, talk about awkward. You could just see Alex Lyon. He was like, he had that stare. And he's just looking straight forward. And I'm screaming like, no, come on. That ain't right. He asked that question right in front of it. It was like a parent with the kid. You know what I mean? It was like Emily was mom and Maurice was dad, and the kid's standing there and mom's telling on the kid. You know what he did when it was wild. It was crazy, man.
So I'd like to see a surprise star of the game on Friday night. And I'm picking two guys that I'd like to see surprise us and have like the game of their life.
I got them. There we go. Go ahead.
Luosterainen and Lundell.
Oh, those are different names than I thought you were saying.
One of those guys needs to be rewarded because they played pretty good. Lundell's ready for a breakout.
Yeah.
I just, he's like in the Barkov mold. He's a playmaker. He's a setup guy. But it's good. It's nice when he scores.
Yeah.
Usually do pretty good when he scores. So,
right.
It'd be nice. Nice.
Yeah. And look, hopefully next year he gets some decent, consistent line mates. Because basically the third line has been Lundell and whoever's playing like shit. So we'll put him with Lundell. I mean, that's basically been our third line all year. You know what I mean?
Well, he's got familiarity with Reinhart. So just need to find, a left wing in the mold of Marchment. That line was killer.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just not to get off topic, but let's get off topic. Seattle beat Colorado last night.
Colorado's got like
problems, again,
dude. I mean,
Seattle's up 3-2, and they're going back to Seattle, bro.
They got no Cale McCart. Mikushkin is off somewhere with his secure. I mean, Colorado's got issues.
Yeah, Landeskog's out.
Yeah. I mean, and right.
But can you believe it? They beat him in Colorado last night again.
Yeah. Something's going on. I mean, look, they won the cup. They've been up and down this year themselves, and there's just only so many hits a team can take, before. And look, Seattle's not bad, right? Seattle's not a bad team. Same things happen in
Vegas
with right, and also Toronto and Tampa. That we got that going on tonight. Kyle and I'll be streaming that. Now I'm gonna do some research on this. Or if somebody else wants to do it. But my idea was I want to look at the playoff histories of both teams, but it's possible, depending on how Tampa was during those couple of years in the 90s when we were good. But it's been a long, long time, if not will be the first time, that if Tampa loses tonight, it'll either be the first time ever or the first time in a long time that the Panthers are in the playoffs when the Lightning are not. That I can't remember the last time that was the case. You know what I mean? Even if it's just for the one game. You know what I mean? Even if it's just for the one game, I can't remember the last time Panthers were in.
Well, we know how Toronto has collapsed before, so.
Oh, look, we got a good thing going on with the recaps and the reviews, and the Maple Leaf fans were I'm life coaching them through this to be like that not because I did the same thing with the Rangers last year, right? After game 2, when the Rangers were up 2-0 on Tampa, in that recap, I was like, now look, don't do it. Don't celebrate. Don't think because it's 2-0 that you guys got this. Okay, I made sure that whatever Ranger fans were watching the channel had that little bit of doubt in their mind, and yeah, so I don't know with that series either. It'd be crazy if Tampa was the first team eliminated, though. Wouldn't that be something? That would be not seeing that coming. So I don't know. I mean, I guess once we beat Boston, we might have to play Toronto. That would just not be. I mean, like we're already used to the Lightning. It's okay. It's you again, right? We're already used to that. We know how their fans are and our fans are. And
it's time for an early exit for Tampa.
I don't know if they're going to go down at 5, man. I would be shocked.
But never count out Tampa.
Exactly.
Never count out Tampa.
Right. Exactly. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we picked up some new subscribers. Keep it going, guys.
Yeah. Really appreciate that.
Comments,
definitely, and
notifications. Definitely want to know when new stuff's coming out.
Yep.
And I want to hear your comments about. I mean, I'm so psyched, man. And I'm going. Shout out to Mark, man.
That's right. Yeah, you're going.
Shout out to Claude.
Yep, you're going to the game Friday.
Yep.
And I all I can say is I said Panthers in 7 at the start of the series.
Yes, you did.
So now I won't, like I said, if what I said happens with Panthers in 7 in triple overtime, I won't be alive to see it. But remember what I said. If Verhaeghe scores 5 minutes into the third overtime period at my funeral, played a clip where I predicted that shit 2 weeks ago, because I'll never live through that. No way.
They'll say you made the video after the game was over.
Yeah. He made a video from the grave. All right, everybody. I'll see you later with the podcast, and then we'll see you again tonight with Tampa versus Toronto.